Oh man, and we are back with another episode with J Hawk and Jules, and of course, and your host, J Rod. And I feel like, I was just telling him what song I want.
Sorry, you said and
what
your
are you
hoe.
mouthing?
You said and your hoe. I mean your host.
I did not call myself a hoe.
By accident.
No, I didn't. I don't even want to do this song anymore.
Nah, do the song.
Do the song. All right. My bad. I'm going to behave in a second.
Come on.
I'm about to just restart this whole shit.
Yeah, definitely keep all this.
Okay. How do I say goodbye to yesterday?
And
memories to be my sunshine
After the rain.
it's
so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Ooh, I'm taking with me the memory of that falsetto right there, Josh.
Play this at my funeral, please.
this clip.
This exact clip. Yeah, so Justin was a great host with great musical taste.
With that.
I can't.
Great host.
I'm a host. Okay. Yeah, that was a fun way to open up the episode. And at least everyone knows who was on the podcast 2 minutes in this time.
Yes.
It didn't take 5. But yeah.
Take 5. Have you ever had one of those?
They're
Oh, so
really
good.
delicious.
Sorry.
Yes. Yes, I have. I love Take 5. It has like the pretzels and the
Hershey products.
chocolate.
I love salty sweet chocolate candies. I'm not a chocolate fan. Oh my god. Okay, and we're back with another episode. I might cut that out. I don't know.
Jeez.
I can't breathe anymore.
Oh, so we have a oh my god. Why did you do that?
PTVAD episode.
Another Past the Vibes After Dark.
After dark.
Bono, bono. I don't know. I tried to do some jazz riff.
After dark.
I think the jazz riff was such a good idea.
I should put like some rain effects in the
Oh
background.
yeah, that'd be nice. Do that.
I'm like kind of hearing it. Oh no, that's the washing machine downstairs. Huh?
Or that's my computer sound like a jet engine right now. But anyway.
This episode's gonna be more serious than we're making it seem, huh?
That's very true.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit more straightforward. It'll have more tips and, just lessons than anything.
Just a tip. Just a tip.
Dude, I thought that I was the most, I was going to say another
You've
word.
never hung out with us before.
I don't think I have hung out with the Josh and
Not
Julie
in a
duo.
place where we could just us talk the whole time, because it's generally like a public forum where we're just like dancing and.
Oh, this is all this is, man. Passive vibes. You talk your mind. Hey.
I swear my mind is not this convoluted generally.
Oh no, you're good.
This is the PTVAD effect.
After dark.
After dark. And
I'm gonna keep my comments to myself.
okay. So yeah, like we mentioned, a little more serious. Well, not too serious. It'll still be lighthearted, but yeah, I wanted to get into asking you guys because I mentioned in their previous episode that both of them have podcasts, and they are very, to my knowledge and from what I've witnessed, very business. I just had a stroke. Very business savvy. I know that I can definitely learn a lot, and hopefully you guys can too. So, yeah, what I wanted to ask was how has it been like in your guys' journey? And I mean, whoever wants to start first can start first.
I'm gonna start first.
Okay. In your journey on being an entrepreneur and and self-starting your own business and that process and the journey to where it was to where you are right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait, can I make a small comment?
Okay.
I feel like this is where the episode really is going to start. He's going to edit our entire intro out.
I hope not.
I'll
We're silly.
Edit the intro out. Why would I ever fucking do that? Are you kidding me?
We're insane.
These are probably I'm not even gonna front. These are probably the most funniest like intros I've done. Like, obviously Zero has his, haha, I make a new name every fucking episode. Good shit, dude.
Why do you say it like that? Are you just trying to trigger
bullying.
him? You're trying to trigger him.
Oh, he knows.
That's
He
rude.
knows. Good shit, dude. Good
What's
shit,
rude
dude.
is
Keep
how I
doing
just
it.
cut you off. Sorry. Tell us about your entrepreneurial endeavors, Joshua son.
No, you're good. But I'm only going first because Julie is actually really killing it. So I'm gonna just get
God,
my.
that's
Oh my
so
god, you guys are
sweet.
both killing it.
I'm
You
just
really
gonna get my
are.
stuff
He really
out
is.
the way. But no, the main thing that I've been doing, I guess, are the three main things. Two of them being podcasts.
Oh, so
one
you
of
got
them
a
being
whole
photography.
list.
Well, if that's what we're counting, right? With photography, it just kind of happened where it's like I enjoy taking pictures with good cameras, and just enjoyed getting better at it and getting better at it. And then I don't know.
You can help me out then.
Yeah, well, that's like at some point in time, somebody was like, "Oh, like you feel like getting paid for that?" And I was like, "Yeah, right? Like, why not?" So that's been fun, but really starting out. I think it's starting out. You have an idea, and then to actually bring it to fruition.
Yeah,
There's a lot of like, quote unquote, red tape and things that you have to buy and pay for to get like those licenses or those papers of making your shit legitimate.
true.
That I don't know that many people know about going into it, like going into it.
Yeah,
I think there's a major part that you just skipped about your journey, even because this just comes intrinsically to an academic, but you did a lot of studying before even getting to that place where you wanted to cross that red tape. I don't know how much the listeners know about photography, but Josh only shoots on manual mode. He doesn't really use automatic, and that takes a lot when it comes to a DSLR. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that at all.
Well, yeah. It's well, I guess to your point with a lot of the research research nowadays is like going to YouTube, right? Like YouTube University.
Yep.
Pretty
much.
So that's just what you always hear is like, oh, like you're gonna want to get off of auto like as soon as possible. So like that's kind of like as soon as I got the DSLR, I just like, okay, well then let's get going.
Dove right in.
But then also
I almost made a music reference.
other than that, like the red tape of it all, your pricing, like learning how to price yourself out so that when you get jobs, but also like you get paid what you're worth. Yeah. Kind of a thing.
So it seems kind of like fair, I guess.
Right. Yeah. You want to make sure that you're fair. And I think the biggest thing, at least even for me, even to this day, is like pricing out, I guess, something that's fair for me because I still feel like a beginner with a lot of this stuff, right? So it's just like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna like I did my one friend's wedding engagement photos.
All right.
And like I thought they were okay. Like I thought they were cool, and then I just like posted up on my Instagram thing, and then K Jewelers was like, "Hey, do you want us to we could show that shit off in our thing?" And I was like, "Okay."
Well, the pictures were phenomenal, and I think a lot of times we underestimate our own ability, and even like right now when you're like, oh, the pictures were okay, they were beautiful, and there was a lot of like dimension in terms of light, and there's like just an artistic eye that a lot of people don't intrinsically have that Josh has. I think as an artist, generally we see the world a little bit differently, but yeah, that's a huge part that you're forgetting. It's like one, you did a lot of studying, but two, you have like this intrinsic artistic presence, and you also practiced a lot. And so, yeah, that's going to be recognized. Whether or not people feel that they're worthy of certain clout doesn't matter, because your art speaks for itself. And I think that's definitely the case when it comes to your photography business. Yeah,
Thank
for
you
sure.
so much.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, cause I definitely want to start getting into like, not necessarily like being a photographer, but learning how to take better pictures. And I feel like, yeah, I'll mess around with like a self timer or some shit like that, and just like do like think like I'm striking like a cool pose like on the phone. But like now that I bought a somewhat decent camera. I mean, you can.
Was that the Sony G7X?
What the fuck?
Oh, that's your limit.
Yeah.
It has the same structure. It looks like it.
So you bought the bargain bin shit? But no, it's just a Panasonic.
He
Panasonic
had a cover
Lumix.
over his camera, like, first of all, and it was like dust protection and everything. You play no games with your technology.
I'm really like kind of like OCD. I'm not kidding. Like, never been diagnosed, so I can't say like, well, yeah, I have OCD. But no, when it comes to like keeping like shit clean, organized, I think like I have like a slight OCD with that shit. But no, for real, I'm still learning the ins and outs of the camera, obviously implementing it with possibly the podcast and then the video games and then other live stuff. No, dude, I'm coming to you. Like I completely forgot that like you actually did photography, but like now like I know about it on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
How much you want?
Thing.
It's funny, but like that's where I like those kind of cameras.
The point and shoot.
But like back in college, like the Nikon, I think it was the 9100, S9100 or something like that.
You guys are reminiscing over models,
Yeah.
model numbers and shit.
It was like that was like a thing, and like everybody was taking like cool pictures or whatever. And then I remember Dex actually got the Canon, the first like T3-1 or something like that.
T3i.
T3i, yeah. And like so, like he
speaking a different language
the
right
game.
now. Yeah.
And so then after a while, then I was like, okay, I want to get my DSLR, and then I just like got into it and went from there. But
honestly, my biggest issue with you is that you're Nikon and I'm Canon.
Ooh, really? Well,
you know this.
I'm gonna be Panasonic then.
Panasonic is great for video.
Funny story.
That's why I got it.
I only went with Nikon because I thought Nikon was Japanese and Canon wasn't. And then like years later, I found out that Canon was still Japanese. But, so I was like, oh.
Here's the issue. Once you start off, and like for anybody interested in photography, once you start off with Canon or Nikon, you're pretty much stuck, because in terms of like the way that your like muscle memory works, Canon let's say goes clockwise, where like the lenses in Nikon will go counterclockwise. In general, like the entire feel is just backwards.
Interesting.
It's just so you can say it's like an Apple
to
Windows
a Samsung
thing.
Mac.
Right.
Windows.
iOS Windows, yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't know what else you really want to know about entrepreneurship.
Well, the journey's what I'm hearing from you is the journey is about continuously learning.
Yes.
Right.
And I'm sure if anybody who's listening to this have ever listened to that, like you kind of, that's kind of par for the course, like you're always learning kind of a thing.
You always, but that's actually something people don't really take into account all the time. Like that's what like my old director, he would always tell me, he's like always want to learn, like never feel like, okay, I'm fine. Like, I mean, so many of us always say like, oh, college, I didn't learn shit. And I mean, I
learned how to parallel park in college. It was phenomenal. Like, I can straight, like, one hand go back. Let's go one step. Like,
lean back.
That's what I learned in college.
See?
That's what I learned.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I didn't learn the past tense of learn.
I wonder if it's not people don't want to learn, because that would be scary.
Yeah.
But people don't want to learn what they're in front of at that moment. So it's like they
That's
don't want to
learn
whatever the job is or whatever like that, but they haven't found like that passionate thing. Like,
yes.
So like today, I learned about through Photoshop how to like take out the background of some things.
Oh, isn't that so good? So what are you using the? Oh, never mind. Tell me later. Okay. But yeah, it's a whole thing.
No, like I've actually like Photoshop. I've actually been self-taught.
Right.
And like working at the job that I'm at right now, like I've had to do multiple things where I'm editing photos. I don't do it anymore.
Photoshop and Lightroom is where I'm at.
Yeah, I just do Photoshop, and that's helped me a lot with editing my thumbnails for YouTube and stuff.
Really? Because it'd be so much easier for you to use like Canva or PicMonkey.
I've heard about Canva and that's whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I also use Photoshop, but that's because I have like a digital background. So like, question. Do you think that it's that people don't want to learn what's in front of them, or people are afraid, especially when it comes to business, to admit what you don't know? Because I feel like when people go into business, they're like, I need to know this whole thing, or I can't start my business, or I can't become a photographer if I don't know this, or what about the f-stop? Not totally getting that, so I can't start yet. I think it's more so that like people are afraid to admit what they don't know and afraid to start if they're not at what they consider an expertise of knowledge.
Yes.
If all the lights aren't green.
Yeah.
Green goes.
I agree.
That's real. I think there comes a point where you just get over that shit though.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like if you want
common.
to do it, it's like
you're gonna have to fail eventually.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like for me it was like, okay, I know I'm gonna suck at photography when I first start, but like it's something that I find cool and interesting enough that I will go through with that.
Yeah.
So,
and like being willing to learn, because I know like there are some times in which like we even have photo shoots together, and like I get nervous sometimes with different photographers because I know like certain things that I like or certain lightings that I like, and like as a blogger you have a certain style and aesthetic that you have to maintain, or else things are just gonna look convoluted. So like Josh is always open for me to be like, hey, do you mind just like increasing the f-stop a little bit, or like do you and like he's always down for it, or if it's like yeah, I'd like the composition a little bit different than like this last one. Like a lot of photographers don't want to hear that. That's what sets you apart in terms of photography, because a lot of photographers have their own style and they're stuck in it, which is great, like it's a style, but that's more like you're creating paintings and such. Whereas like if you're working with people and you're working with portraiture in the way that you do, a lot of times you need to understand that person's style and to really like get the essence of like the photos that they want and they want to buy and they want to like hang up in their house. And that's what really I think sets you apart.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow. I didn't know that you thought all those things.
You didn't know I was a thinker.
Well, I feel like that kind of just like trails back to what we were talking about before, where it's just like as our generation, we're always like undercutting ourselves. We really do. And it's like, and I was really praising the fact that you were just like, yeah, if it's something that you're passionate about, you're just gonna like want to do it, like no matter how much you feel like you're gonna suck at it. Like you're gonna have to suck at something before you figure out how to perfect it.
Right.
And I mean, dude, it's been an ongoing process with this fucking podcast.
Oh man.
Like with the I was telling you guys earlier, the pops and clicks shit, and I mean like it's bothered like me and Zero since the beginning. Like we were like, God, like what is causing it? Is it this? Is it that? Is it that? Is it this? I would do tons of research. He wouldn't do shit. I would just, Oh
my
I love you, buddy.
Why?
I love you,
That's
dude.
not nice.
Remember that I love you, and that this is all out of love. But like we would just always be so tight about like it not sounding crisp, because it's like what. This is so simple. Like you plug this shit in, you have the software, you record. Why is it doing all of why is it being so extra? But
you know what though? You're gonna it's so funny because I was talking to a friend about this before with audio editing and even video editing.
Yeah.
You learn to appreciate it on such a level. I was watching Marie Kondo, and like whoever video and audio edits that, like I hope they have like one of the highest paychecks, because like
even like the film, like the filmography, like whoever is like recording, what's that called?
Like videography?
The videography.
Yeah.
Because like the shots you gotta get to get that mess.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh no, I definitely have a higher sense of appreciation, because like I'm a huge YouTube fan. Like that's my main source of like media intake.
Me too. I never watch TV.
I don't watch cable. I watch Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, but YouTube. Like you saw how many people I'm subscribed to. There's content for hours, and yeah, there are big YouTubers who I watch. Like one of the biggest, like PewDiePie. Like he has his own editor, and a lot of these people have their own editors, and they have to become accustomed to what that style of editing that guy was doing prior to hiring the editor. And it's like I give so much props to like those editors who've taken on that task of just like just outputting all of their videos, and then obviously like with the actual content creator like just okaying them. So it's just like they have that relationship, and it's like I love being at this level where it's just like I'm starting from legit not knowing anything about like video editing. Like I would know the basics of like cutting something out and like splicing like stupid dumb shit like that. And then Photoshop, I knew the basics, but like I got better and better like working where I'm working and then doing it on my own time. So yeah, it's just like I've definitely garnered so much respect that and the time and effort that goes into just video and sound.
People don't know like
it's like that in like any entrepreneurial.
When they see it, it's just like this is cool. But they're just like, dude, they don't know how many times it took that editor going back and it's like, okay, like figuring out the timing on that gag, like the shit that I was showing you from the pop one stuff, like. I went back
even the music, like when it starts to fade and like
the fact that you did like the whole like edits that you did to that video. I still wouldn't know. I don't know how like I would like I could probably figure it out, but I'm just like, yo, you made that look real. That looks really like
a YouTube, like and it's just like
good.
I gathered all of that from like the years of that, like the different cuts, and I mean, there's obviously stuff that I want to get better at.
But we watch YouTube all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where, like, just like
YouTube University.
Taking that, like, that's where I learned most of it. Like, the scariest, I remember one of, like, the scarier projects was when I pitched a national video campaign for, it's normal people call it, like, a political super PAC. We call it independent expenditures. But I was running, like, the Pennsylvania digital program, and I was like, look, everyone needs video. We need to understand like what's going on. Like if you want people to get out to vote, show them, you know, like whatever it is. So I was editing this video, and then, you know, I was gonna have to go to national, and then I was gonna have to be pitched like nationally. And like I just remember thinking like, is this even like good enough for like Megan Batoon's channel or like, you know, like is it?
You put those comparisons in your head.
You get scared, and then they look at it and they're like, "Oh yeah, that was cool. Can we make that 30 seconds?" It's like,
yo,
dude.
Like, when they come back, we're like, "But could we make this shorter though?" I'm like, no.
Oh, and can we get that by 2 p.m.?
You want me to do what?
No, you can't.
Right?
It's not possible.
And it's like, what's crazy is that. Even at this point now, I remember like, because I used to make videos for like the church that I go to.
Yes.
And they would be like, oh, like that is really cool. Like, how long does that really take you now? And I'm like, oh, like, I think now it's like, oh, it doesn't take that long. Like, probably like 2-3 hours because,
they're like,
and I told them because when you go in shooting, you kind of already know the story that you want to tell.
It depends on how you shoot.
Yeah. And so, like, if you know what story you're trying to tell, then, like, yeah, it's very easy to, like, cut up and whatever.
Yes,
but that's only after years of doing it and being like, all right, I have all this footage. What the hell?
What am I going to do?
Sitting there for, like, 6 hours.
Well, that's
over the course of, like, a week, right? Like,
I mean, that's the whole reason you storyboard before you shoot. I would like anybody who's like ever interested in getting into videography, like if you don't have a storyboard before you shoot, you are wasting so much of your time. Like you're gonna get this shot and that shot and, you know, this like cutaway and like no, like I need to know exactly what it is, especially if it's like a project I'm being paid for, because if not, you're going to spend so much more time
editing.
That's interesting.
That's my problem, actually. I'm actually, in my mind, I storyboard. I don't write it down. That's the problem.
Write that down.
So that's what I was going to say. I was like, that's interesting because I've never storyboarded, but like I remember one time with the church, they were doing a food fundraiser thing. So I was like, oh, okay, like, but I know that they want to make it look like it's fun and like it was happening and there was like a lot of stuff going on.
You really knew what the story was.
So I knew what the story was, so I could like go in and like, okay, I know I want to get this shot and I want to get something like this and I want to get something like that. But yeah, like, I think that's the major thing. Like, if you know well in advance the project that you're doing, it's a lot easier to storyboard, which makes it a lot easier to like edit and stuff like that.
I think like why I really had to learn to storyboard is because I didn't have like the funds to get another memory card. So it's like, look, I got this much memory and I need to get exactly what I want on it.
No, true.
No, yeah, I definitely need to physically like write stuff down because like the next video that I'm trying to do is like an intro video for like the YouTube channel. So like one of those like 30 seconds to a minute video like introducing to the channel.
We gotta do one for ours.
Yeah, so it's like I already have like I have all of the ideas and what I want to do, the cutaways and what I want to put in the video. It's just I need to number one just do it. And like write it down and then just do it and then worry about the editing after I shoot everything that I want to shoot.
But that's a backwards way of doing it.
Yeah.
It sounds like the right way to do it, right? Like I need the video before I can edit it. No, you need to know what your edits are before you're gonna video.
Yeah.
I'll send you the little template that I use sometimes. Okay. It's just like a
all right. No, yeah, I appreciate
basic
that.
one.
That was photography. The podcast stuff, I wouldn't really call it like a business because. Well, okay, the one that I'm personally doing, I wouldn't call it business because I'm literally not trying to... Well, sponsorships can sponsor your cup of tea if you want. We're looking at you, Tivana.
YCO?
But the Blurred Bar...
Dude, that'd be dope if you get like a Crunchyroll sponsor for that shit.
Shit, son. Speaking into existence.
I receive it.
But
I can feel it.
The Blurred Bar... I think that just started as an idea of like, oh, we like talking about this. Let's talk about it. And if we're authentic to ourselves, people are going to like it. Mm-hmm. And that's like, I mean, we just dropped our first episode last week as of this recording. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that goes. But that was really it. And we've been doing a lot of like there's so much behind the work scenes of like any like business that goes on that I don't know. I'm not going to say that people don't know about, but like, I don't know. I always equate it to like when I bought a car, it was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to buy a car and like, I don't have to pay gas or whatever, but like, that's fine. Like, all right, fine.
It's stuff that they don't think about.
Yeah. The stuff that they don't even like, oh, registration. Wait, what? Like, oh, inspection. Wait, what? Like, so like
tags. What?
Yeah. There's like all those things that's like, and great. I mean, fortunately now, once again, YouTube University, like Google, like you can find these things out, but I don't know if people are like have that in their forefront of their mind.
No, not at all.
It takes time.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you have to grow with.
I will say, what's been very interesting. I was talking to you. We were talking about this on the way over here. So I've been listening to a lot of like Dave Ramsey, and the one of his personalities, Christina Wright. I don't know.
See right.
Christy Wright. She talks a lot about when you're building your business, like if you're looking of transitioning it from your side hustle to like the main thing.
Okay.
You want to build it up so that it's the next logical step. So instead of oh, I really like this hobby. Like I really like PTV. Yeah. But I'm gonna make this my main hustle and I'm just gonna like jump all into it and like just quit my job and just do it because I don't know. Yeah. It's gonna get me somewhere.
Yeah. I hope.
Yeah. She's like, no. Yeah. What you want to do is build it up so that it's like already covering like your expenses of like living.
Yeah, 100%.
So that like when you do it, it's like not a fearful leap. It's just the obvious next step.
That's the logical next step.
I think like a good point you made in the car was, sometimes you're going to feel like, or you're literally going to be working 2 full-time jobs because it's not just going to happen. You got to work for it. Yeah. And are you willing to do that? Are you willing to grind as hard as you need to grind? Like work like no one's working now to live like no one later, And Dave Ramsey is really great at like explaining that, like, no, it's not going to be easy. Are you willing to work hard?
Gary Vaynerchuk says a lot about that stuff too. Like
I might be mixing Gary V and
Dave Ramsey definitely says that, but Gary V will say some shit like, "Are you willing to eat shit and like be in an apartment with like 5 other guys and have ramen and you know what I mean, like just really eat shit for the next 5 years so that you can like really like build your dream or whatever." But like he's I don't know, he has a point. I think personally, I feel like there's gonna come a time if you listen to Gary Vee a lot, there's going to come a time where if you're not doing anything, you're going to have to turn him off and go do shit. Because otherwise, he's not a one-trick pony, but like he has one message, like go execute.
Yeah.
And then, like
fucking do it.
Yeah, if you're not executing but you're still listening to him, I can feel a lot of like what is it? Cognitive dissonance with that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Where it would almost turn negative to a point.
It almost turned negative because you're not doing anything. Yeah. So it's like,
but it's also like about communication style, because like I don't want to like crap on Gary Vee. I think his message is really powerful and what he's doing is great. But like I'm the type of person, like if I'm on the field hockey field and someone is telling me like you're shit right now, like what the heck are you doing, versus someone saying like you have much more potential, like try this, I've seen you do this. I am much more positive affirmation driven than someone who is gonna like beat me down, and I feel like that's just a style. I see some people who like when they're working out, they're like, what the heck is that, what are you doing, and that gets them going. Not me. I cannot stand negativity will literally like I don't know, it just like eats me alive. I need someone who's gonna be able to be positive and still tell me that I'm crap at the moment, like, and do that in a respectful way. And I feel like that's why I enjoy Gary Vee, but only at a certain time. I have to be in a certain headspace.
In doses, right? That makes sense. No, yeah. It's like I feel like I've gotten all like my inspiration from like just other podcasts that I've watched, and not try to like replicate, because obviously they've had platforms before they did their podcast, and I feel like that's what some people tend to forget. Like a lot of these huge podcasters, they've already had like platforms that kind of like projected them to the level that they are on their podcast. So
have you listened to I know this is going off tangent from the entrepreneurship a little bit, the Michelle Obama podcast that just launched this week?
That was like last week or something like that, right? I want to listen to it.
It's phenomenal.
I'll probably cry or something.
Well, first off, I have a huge respect. I have such a huge respect for the Obamas. And so
happy birthday, Barack Obama.
Right.
I think today's his birthday.
It's either today or yesterday.
I think it's today's his birthday.
She what time is it? Well, she launched her.
It was yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. So she launched her podcast, with her husband as her first guest, and I mean,
I'll give this to you.
Epic,
baby.
Obviously, but there's just like what I said about your show and what I like, about the best shows I listen to are authentic, and that was very much what I felt listening to her. And then also the theme of community came up a lot. So I mean, if you haven't listened to it, I would definitely recommend it.
Not after for nothing. Was there ever a doubt that a Michelle Obama podcast was gonna like
fail?
Right, like she's kind of like Oprah right now, right? Like she
or
can
bigger,
kinda,
man.
Right, like she can't do any wrong. Like,
but you know what? Okay, so
she'd have to do I don't know what she would have to do for America to be like, ooh, like I feel like anything she did could be spun like. But it's Michelle.
Yeah.
So what?
Okay, I get that, but here's my rebuttal. My rebuttal is, okay, we knew it was going to be good. Yeah. Great. But I didn't know it was going to be so relatable. I didn't know that myself, as someone who's like, faced homelessness, who's been, like in a completely, like, I didn't have that nuclear family like she had in certain things. I didn't know that I was going to be like, oh, I see myself in you. Oh my gosh, you were the first lady. I can be anything. I feel that when I listen to her podcast, and I feel that when I listen to her or read her book, Becoming. And that's the book that I chose in hosting our book club this month. And there's something to be said about that, because a lot of times when I see different people that I admire, it's like, oh my gosh, so cool. That's like, you got to be a princess in this like story of the world. Whereas I see her and I'm like, you were like a real person from Chicago. Oh my God, I could probably do something like that. I could probably like be there. Oh my God, I'm inspired. That's what I feel. I feel related to.
Yeah, I feel like with Michelle Obama, like she definitely has that special skill or talent to be a person at such a high level of
fame.
Yeah, fame, celebrity status. Like she still knows how to be a person. Yeah. So that's what makes her so relatable. No matter how. No matter how many people want to be like her or anything like that, it's just people want to be like her because it's just like she presents the the possibility that
right.
to anybody that you can do this.
And I will never like forget the day that I met her. I was like,
she'd be me and Pharrell.
Weird flex.
So sorry.
Weird. You flexing.
And I don't mean this as a flex at all. The only reason I feel like I could bring up is because like y'all know I like worked in politics and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think like I like felt like somebody, you know, like it was the craziest thing. I was working on the Obama campaign as like an ambassador for Latinos and then women, and it just became like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I remember being the last person in line, literally the last person in line to meet Michelle Obama before she went on stage to, you know, support her husband during the Obama campaign. And the Secret Service like really wanted to rush her. And be like, look, we gotta go. Like, but she literally like put her hand up and was like, no, like I need one more moment. And she took that moment, like that extra moment, like to tell them no, like I'm not leaving right now because this person who I'm talking to matters. Yeah. And I cannot tell you like what that did to my psyche. And like it could have been anybody, but just like the fact they're like, we gotta go, and she's like, no, like I need to tell her like stay in school. What you're doing is great. Thank you so much. Like she like when she hugged me, it like felt tight and it felt real. And there's just like I know I'm not the only person who experienced that, and I know that authenticity isn't something you could teach, and I won't forget it because of that. Not because it was like, oh my God, you've been a celebrity. Oh my God, she's amazing. Because I felt like a person there, and like people will forget what you said to them, but they'll always remember the way you made them feel.
100%.
And that was the embodiment of that quote in my life.
No, that's awesome. That's really that just that little moment of time that she took out. Yeah, it's just it enhanced that moment tenfold. Yeah,
and I would have totally understood if she was like, okay, gotta go. Yeah, and she's like, no.
Yeah. You had that same moment with the gold bottle.
Yeah, the gold bottle was crazy.
I mean, go back. Is that episode?
That was a few. That was a few episodes ago. 6 or
7? Maybe?
No, that was recent. I actually told the story.
Yeah, you told the whole story. That wasn't episode 6 or 7? Right?
Nah, that might have been the story with Surge.
It might have been.
So like episode 15.
Oh wow, so
16.
Wow,
no. Maybe 14.
All right, so we gotta do some homework.
Yeah. Nah, it's.
I know I listened to the episode, but like
it's the one with Surge, the one with the jujitsu.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now tell us about Julie. Tell us about your entrepreneurial stuff, because
I know, right? The process, where you're at right now. Because I mean, I see you doing your thing.
Even thinking about doing it full time, because I was with you with your like retirement party.
Right. Oh my God, we were so lit.
You were so lit.
Oh, you were? Oh,
somebody had to drive.
Okay, so for 10 years I've been working in politics, and not because politics is my passion, but just because I felt like someone has to do something in terms of like change, right?
Yeah.
And I finally said to Josh one day, I was like, look, I think I'm gonna, do full time for my business. And it wasn't something that was so much like a choice because I felt super ready. It was more so because like my health was like in the way.
It was kind of like preventing you from like working like a quote unquote normal job.
Right. And you guys, my job was amazing. Like the place where I work, like I had passed out 1 billion times. They have driven me to hospitals. They have literally taken off my heels and rubbed my feet in the office. Like I had an amazing work environment. It had nothing to do with them. But it's just like, like my health can be very limiting. And so it wasn't safe for me to go into the city anymore. Yeah. And so I said, look, I could either like give up and, like I finally got approved for like disability and things like that, and that'll be it. But I want more. Like I want to be active. I want to be successful.
Still want to contribute.
Yeah, I want to contribute. I love working. And so what I did was like, like I fought as much as I could fight, working the typical job, and I made it through like a few election cycles and worked on like the Attorney General's campaign and different things in terms of politics. And I finally said like, okay, I built my business enough to where I feel like I can do it 100% all the time. And I could only, I have to give credit to my husband. Support systems are amazing. And the fact that I know that my husband was there to support me in my health and, like me surviving to the next day was more important than anything.
Shout out Julio.
Shout out to Julio. we decided together. Yeah. And so I think the lesson there is that, sometimes you don't feel ready and you're not going to necessarily be ready and you're never all the way ready, but you need to just do it.
Yes.
You need to take the leap. And for me, that was a leap. It was, okay, I can't work in a normal environment anymore. Let me build something that I can. And I think I mentioned this in the last episode that we did. But I was at a point before I went back to work, I tried on and off going to work where I couldn't walk myself to the bathroom. I couldn't leave my room. I was sleeping, 18 to 20 hours a day. And trying 30 different medications, seeing a million different doctors. And, I said, in the 4 hours that I'm awake, I'm going to build something. I don't care what it is, but I'm going to build it. So I started making YouTube videos. And then from there, it turned into a blog. And then from there, it turned into, I'm really interested in digital. So let me find out about SEO. And then that's how I landed this job, at a national super PAC or independent expenditure and got to run a fun digital program. So either way, my health wasn't going to limit what it meant for me to be alive and contributing to this society. And because I can't work a normal job, that turned into entrepreneurship. And so it's more it was more out of necessity in some way, but also out of this drive that I have to give. And I just read this book today. It's called The Go-Giver. It's a real short read. That's why I said today. It was
just banged out this novel real quick.
No, you guys, it's like a 3-hour read. It was short and really straightforward, but it teaches you. It's a fun read, yeah.
Okay.
And it teaches you about the 5 steps that to be successful. To I wrote notes about it, but basically there are 5 things that make the most successful people what they are. And it all comes back to giving. It all comes back to, I want to give more. My value is in what I can give to this world, what I can give to people. And then whatever comes back to me is based off of that. And so I said, I can't take much from this world because I can't get into the world. What can I give? And I can give online. I can give in my house. I can give, in terms of a podcast, in terms of a video. And that's what I really fought for. Mm-hmm. So that's where
talk about though even the creative aspect, because you that's how you started into it, and now with your shop and being creative and even how you grew that, because you did my logo. You did my logo for my podcast. Yep. Which was great, and you did that off of my crap ass sketch. I will keep forever.
It looked like a little pee-pee in a cup.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But
yo, not even gonna front. That's how the Passive Vibes podcast logo was started. I told, because I don't have the in art type, right? I'm not artsy whatsoever. I can't draw. I know that Zero likes to draw, so I literally told him, I think it was after the first or second episode we actually recorded, I was like, dude, draw whatever comes to mind that what you think Passive Vibes podcast will look like. He drew something up, and then immediately, so when I see something, that's when ideas...
It inspires you?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I always look for inspiration. And as soon, so he doesn't like to take credit sometimes, but technically he is almost the originator of what the Passive Vibes podcast logo looks like. Nice. Because if it wasn't for his original sketch, and as much as I shit on him, dude, I will you realize I will always shit on you, because I know he will listen to this. Bro,
it's love.
He has a huge, if not the whole hand in why the podcast logo looks the way it looks.
That's awesome.
That's actually
it's art.
pee-pee in a cup.
Legit. It's kind of the same thing where it's I knew what I wanted, but I knew I couldn't produce it.
Yeah.
And I knew if I talked to her, she'd be able to, and she literally did amazing work that I could have never done.
Yeah. So it was almost vice versa. The opposite way, because I was just dude, I can't figure out anything. No. No.
The lights went out. It's getting dark.
I don't even know if we're still recording anymore. We're gonna find out.
Well, the computer's still on.
So maybe we are
My
recording.
red mic is on.
That's true.
I can see my levels going up.
Dude, this is so creepy. Did all my shit go off in my house?
I mean,
which is really weird because
really
it's not even storming anymore.
It's not, but like I can't bring over. I knew something told me, and all of this I think is still getting recorded.
That's good.
Something told me to move that over here just in case that happened.
You have so much on. Maybe it like blew a surge.
I don't know. Wait, can I?
There we go.
Oh.
And we're back, and it's gone.
Somebody's like fucking up.
Wait, no, fuck. Oh my god, this is all real. Late night PTV AD.
So basically, Justin turned out all the lights.
Right.
And
no, it's still. I'm looking at it in like a little mini window. It's still going.
Oh, okay,
we're cool.
That's what it looks like. It looks like it's still going.
Oh, we're cool. We thought about not having the big light on anyway.
That's true.
But wait. Hold on. Let me see if I pause it. I'm just gonna see if it stopped. Okay. Yeah, we're back recording. My power went out, so right now we're riding off of a good amount of
internal battery.
Yeah, laptop battery.
That means we got 20 minutes.
Nah, it says about 2 hours. But
I mean,
we'll see
you've
how
got
fast.
these mics connected as well.
Well, yeah, we'll see how fast it goes. But I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's okay if you don't pay your bills.
I don't want you guys to leave anyway. I'm fucking scared.
No, you just don't like it.
No, I'm being completely real. Like, I'm gonna be like scared. I have to. I'm normally falling asleep with like with some kind of light. I know it's not good for me.
Use your phone though.
Yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna.
Just put a
do.
podcast on, preferably mine.
Yeah, preferably his.
Shameless plug. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
The your cup of tea.
Yeah.
You could
the
put the
blurred
episode
bar.
where we're together, and then you'll think we're still here.
Okay,
That's true. It's the first episode.
I'll do that. There we go. But to get back into it, Josh, you were asking Julie.
Yeah, Julie, tell us more about the creative process and the creative growth that you feel like you've had.
Right. Okay, so I guess before, and a lot of this is intertwined with my physical health. And so before I really, had that decline in my health, I had a huge passion for dance. Okay. And so I always thought and I played the flute and I sang in the choir and things like that. And so I always had a passion for art, right? But I never knew about the strength I had in physical art. And so when it came to being confined to a bed, I realized, oh, shoot, I can draw a little. Or, oh, shoot, I can, edit videos. Or, you adapt and you realize, my passion here is for some type of, I guess, just release in terms of, having an artistic release. So then I began becoming really interested in this community that's very niche, where you you use your planner, but you use stickers to mark certain things instead of just writing it down with pen and paper. Mm-hmm. And the stickers were my form of art. So I would always buy different ones that had a little heart on it for my cardiology appointments, or a little brain on it for neurology, or things like that. And then eventually I was spending so much money on stickers, I was like, I need to draw these.
I gotta start saving some cash on it,
right?
And that's where I think a lot of my growth comes from always. In terms of entrepreneurship, it's I consume this a lot. Let me figure out how to do it for myself. And that comes from just having a background where you had to fight for certain things, and sometimes they were basic needs and sometimes they were just extra. Mm-hmm. And so you figure out how to do them for yourself. And that's, I think, where my growth came from in the business. Always trying to figure out what am I consuming? Okay, how can I create that? How can I put a spin on it and put it into the world? And how can I make money off of it, right? Because at the end of the day, we're looking to survive, to save, and, do all those things together. And so that's how it grew into creating the sticker shop that then led to another shop where I create gifts and I do embroidery and sewing, because at the time in 2020, actually, people were getting really sick and the pandemic was crazy. And I was like, what can I do? I honestly was sick to my stomach thinking about people in the hospitals, like my husband or different people that were giving their lives to helping others and not having masks. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn how to sew. Taught myself how to sew, donated over 500 masks, and I'm still donating today.
That was dope.
And that's where it comes from for me. It's like, I see a need in the world. I'm going to do everything I can to fulfill it, because if not, what I consider my value is limited. If you don't have value outside of just feeding yourself, for me, that means that there's more. There's more, and you need to seek it. So that's what I do. In terms of my business, that's always how it grows.
That's awesome.
It's a beautiful way to run it. Yeah.
I didn't realize that until right now, just like sharing it and realizing how different things happened. But yeah, I think that's like an innate, not innate, I think it's taught in some ways, but also like, being an empath, like I mentioned, and being a selfless person. But I would recommend anybody who's going into business, think about different ways that you can give before you think about the money you're going to make off of it.
Wow.
See a need and fill it.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it the other way around, or trying to do it from the profit perspective.
Right.
If you're starting off with the profits in mind, it's like, are you really, like, people might not want to buy what you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
And I mean, it's even how I like see this podcast and this YouTube. Like I strictly and still to this day, like I see it for just a source of fun. Like I feel like, even, and then aside from it just, fulfilling, a form of happiness for me, like I always felt that, like, yeah, maybe my, like, my dumb ass can, like, make someone laugh or someone, smile, or even just think about something a little bit differently.
Right.
I don't even care if it's just one person or if they just think about it for a split second. Like, just the fact that I was able to somewhat even make a change is just like, and I might not even know it, that's like somewhat like fulfilling for me. But like at the end of the day, it is all about like me going into it knowing that I'm gonna have fun, no matter, oh, it's raining again, no matter how much, no matter how I look at it. Like it's always just like, it's gonna be a fun output of energy, no matter how I'm feeling that day. It's just gonna give me a sense of like, okay, that was good, and I can like move on with my life on to the next one, pretty much.
With PTV and or Viera Vida, do you think you guys are ever gonna get like, the only way I can put it is like, I guess like political, because I know you do like patches and stuff like that, and I know you just talk about like whatever. I think you did an episode about police brutality a couple weeks ago?
Police experiences. Yeah, so it's like, being a minority and how our different experiences with the police.
Do you ever feel, besides that, do you ever feel like you're gonna do another like topical thing or something like that?
It comes and goes. This could be a future episode, and I was talking about it with Zero yesterday. How July was the month of cancellations. And
Cancel culture is toxic.
And or random celebrity deaths. Like, I mean, there were some pretty top celebrity names that died in the month of July. I mean, you got Naya, that was unfortunate. I think Regis was just of old age. But
wait, like Regis
Philbin? Yeah, he died.
What?
Like a few weeks ago. Or maybe a couple weeks ago. Yeah, he just passed away. I think he was of old age, and then Naya, she unfortunately, I believe she drowned. There was like a wrestler
with her child.
Yeah, she saved her child, and then there was a known wrestler who drowned apparently too. And then all the cancellations and weird shit going on in Hollywood. You got the Will and Jada, you got Ellen, you got Nick Cannon. It's just
Should we talk about this?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That would be like another like topical episode because like I do love other people's perspectives on like how just lives of people who we see every single day on the screen
Yeah.
are, you know, how they're just crumbling because of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see it as our responsibility, right? Like, I guess every show is a little bit different, but there's this psychological like catharticism that, you know, both of our shows, all three of our shows kind of embody. And yeah, I think these topical episodes, especially when it comes to politics, especially for folks our age who are experiencing these things in a different way, I think it's our responsibility to talk about, and not all the time, right? And it does depend on the theme of your show, but why not? Like, why not have the hard conversations? And I think this group here is not afraid to have those conversations because we do believe that we are open-minded, and you know, we're not right about everything, but we're definitely good people.
Yeah.
And good people need to start speaking up, because if not, we're just hearing the voices of those who feel very strongly but don't necessarily have a strong moral compass.
It's only just, you're just talking to be heard.
Yeah.
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 No, that makes perfect sense. Like, you know, good people who have good intent, you know, no matter right or wrong. I mean, you're not saying anything like maliciously to hurt anyone else. And I mean, yeah, and it's not like I don't stray away from like politics, but it's just like, I think I've stated in episodes before, like politics and religion, like I do say that I stay away from it because I never want to get in an argument with someone else.
I love that we talked about politics and religion.
Yeah, we did. We did. And it's just like, I never want to, and I mean, I guess I should rephrase like how I've stated that in earlier episodes. It's never that like I don't want to talk about it. It's, I'm somewhat non-confrontational. I'm confrontational when I need to be. But on a podcast where like I'm literally talking to either one other person or friends of mine, it's like, I don't want other people thinking that like, oh, he's like very like one-sided and he only thinks one way. I'm very open-minded. I'm not even trying to say that just to like be like brag about it. I love listening to other people's views. That's how I've always been. I love listening to other perspectives, no matter, even if they are batshit crazy. I love hearing them because
it's like, a matter of mutual respect.
Yeah, because I always respect it. If the person doesn't respect me, I'm probably not even going to be talking to them in the first place. But like, I do have friends. Like I have friends who differ, who have different views than I do. But like at the end of the day, I know that we're still friends.
Right.
And I always am going to be open minded to the point where it's just like, okay, I'll hear you out. I won't be like, all right, you're dumb. Or at the end, I'll just be like, all right, well, I'll say that I'll disagree, and this is what I think.
You can do that respectfully.
Yeah, I love. I guess what I'm saying is like, I kind of like a healthy debate, but when it comes to like those big topics like politics and religion, it's very black or white to some people, and no matter how you talk about it, a lot of people who aren't really, I guess you could say, informed, they'll just automatically think that like, you know, I can definitely assume that like a lot of people probably think I'm like Democratic or something like that. When I've actually said multiple times I'm essentially apolitical. I don't really choose a side. It's really whatever matches my views is like who I'll vote for. But then I also have said that in the past 2 elections I have voted Democrat. 3 elections I've voted Democratic. But it was just because their views matched up what I was looking for in the candidate. But nowadays it's just really funny to watch.
Yeah, I think our culture in general is super polarizing, right?
Yes,
and so
it's
like
very
you have to be this or that. Like myself, I would consider myself, obviously I'm a progressive. You know, I worked on the Obama campaign, and I've always voted Democrat, but I would see myself as being fiscally conservative in some ways. And I think that's really interesting that people don't understand that there are different elements to a party just as much as there are to a person. And that's the same thing with what you were talking about, cancel culture. Everything is so black and white, and I don't believe in full cancel culture because it's always like, oh, you make one mistake, you don't exist anymore. And there are some things that I think are definitely like complete, like, okay, that's it for me. I don't want any more to do with this individual. But there are other things that are just like, okay, like we were talking about the Goya thing, how the CEO had mentioned that he was so glad to have quote unquote great leadership from from the Trump administration, which obviously we disagree with.
Yeah.
What I wanted to know first was like, do you have stakeholders to agree with that? Are you speaking as like a rogue representative of this organization? Because a lot of times we don't do that further research. And I'm not going to say like where I feel one way or another with Goya, but let's just say there's some work to be done. But either way, like the second that something happens, people jump to conclusions based on the hashtags
literally
that they
just
see.
the surface level of it.
Yeah.
They never are like, let me look into this really quick.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, don't cancel before you do your research, because at the end of the day, that is you just being brainwashed.
Yeah. Cancel culture is like, I know that this won't, take over the whole episode, but how I've always thought about cancel culture is just, just a group of people who, number one, just have nothing going on in their lives, and and two,
y'all bored,
super bored, and then it's just
lights in the house.
And then oh, you didn't pay your electric though.
But go ahead.
Yeah.
No, it had nothing to do with the lights going off at Justin's house tonight.
I feel like cancel culture started out with what? Yeah, okay. We all heard that? Okay, cool. I feel like it started from a good place, but that the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
100%.
So it's like it started out like we need to stand up and speak out about things that are going wrong.
Yeah.
And like that's great. And then sometimes it like kind of, I don't say it's, I don't feel like it's often, but every now and again there's something where I'm just like, I don't know about that one, guys. Like,
it spirals out of control.
Yeah, it's like,
or it's just like, because I guess like a good example, like where the cancel culture kind of started was like the Me Too movement, and that had good intention. It really did, exposing a lot of people doing a lot of wrong shit. But when you get to like now, where it's like one of the most ridiculous ones, and I mean this is my opinion how I feel about it. No, it's not recent.
PTV about to get canceled right here, right now. Let's go.
PTV,
ADC canceled. Was the Kevin Hart Oscar.
I was gonna ask about that. That's gonna think. I was like,
bro,
what about Kevin Hart?
So that was like the worst type of and obviously he's not canceled because he's still fucking doing his thing.
He's doing a lot of great things.
Yeah, he's doing his fucking thing, and props to Kevin Hart. But when they try to cancel him for a tweet that he made a decade ago, when it's like that, and that's one thing like cancel culture likes to do. It's like they pull things out of context. So it's like not little do they know, they obviously knew what they were doing, but like another piece of context around those tweets was it was 2009. It was a different world of comedy, where gay jokes and dropping the F-bomb was normal.
Yeah,
like it wasn't like, oh, don't say that word. Like, yeah, it was like looked down upon, but like a lot of edgy comedians were saying that. They still say it today, but
also
not
like
as much.
The way he handled it was really
it was
just growth.
Perfect.
Yeah,
it was. I love that he was just like, all right, I'm not doing it. It was kind of like the way that I told you. Yeah.
That's interesting because I thought there were... So I got where he was coming from, where there was a lot of times where I saw him like not apologizing is because like, I've already spoke on it and I've already like apologized. So
that kept burning him though.
Right. Yeah. No, that was
the only thing I was like,
because to me, it was like, he would say like, I already did it, and he never gave like a like a link, right? Like he never gave the link to like the apology.
Here's the source.
So it's like
you kind of
had to take it at face value.
I agree that,
and it's just like, if I just had like the link, then they'd be like, oh yeah, no, he did do that. Like, you guys are, you know what I mean? Like,
but, like at the same time, he's a person, right? And so we forget that. We forget that about like celebrities, especially, where it's like, oh my God, how many times are you going to beat me up about this? You know my intentions. I just expressed to you that this is how I feel. Like, at the same time, like, I'm not going to say it was right, but like in terms of like our weak psychology as human beings,
as
like
the
that,
general masses, they're a bunch of idiots.
That is hard. That is so hard. I can't even like get a mean comment on YouTube and be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard. and it's abuse and like bullying on a completely different level. And I'm not saying, you know, he was right or wrong, but I will say that does weigh on your psychology, and at some point you just need to disconnect from the negativity.
Yeah. No,
so I get it.
Yeah, it was something that was like the only, like, I guess I could say, like, flaw in
with how he handled it.
Like, he was standing his ground, but at the same time he and I feel like he did recognize that, like, if he did say something, like, it would have just been said and done with, but like it was like pride and stubbornness like mixed into one, where he's like, I already talked about this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
like if
go
it were
into
me,
again.
I'd be like apologizing 24/7. But I think, you know, like there's something to be said about that. Like sometimes I apologize for things I don't need to. He needed to apologize for that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what I'm saying.
But I feel like that was a piece of it where he didn't
like
want to apologize again, because it's just like he doesn't want to have this persona of like, all right, I'm going to keep apologizing for things I apologize for. Yeah. So that's why like it was like a pride and stubbornness like mixed into one.
And it's also like I can imagine like a branding.
Like
everything is so much more when it comes to celebrities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was real.
But no, that's the main thing about cancel culture. Maybe I'll have a whole episode about that. But
you definitely could.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Especially entanglement and shit.
Yeah. We just actually had one too on the Vieta show.
Entanglement.
It's a lot. But I think at the end of the day, when it comes to like entrepreneurship, this is the theme that we're getting around. It's just like understanding what your moral code is, right? And so for me, having gone to Mountain Horseshoe, there are 4 sacred values that like we live by, and I really, really do think about these when it comes to my business and shit, like commitment to mission, mutual respect, integrity, and positive spirit. And I really like I can say them off the back of my hand because I live by them. Like I live for being positive. Like I don't care how bad things are, I always find like a silver lining. And I know that can be toxic. There is a time in which it's toxic that to like always bright side this. Like yeah, I get that, but for the most part, I'm gonna try to find something good from every situation. I'm gonna like, I hate this phrasing, devil's advocate. I wish I could find like a new way, because the enemy does not need any support. But like, yeah, I do think a silver lining is really important. I do think integrity for me within business is, you know, like I'm supporting good businesses. I'm getting good suppliers. I'm making sure I'm recycling. I'm making sure that my packaging is, you know, like good for the environment, different things like, community, you know, mutual respect comes from like making sure that even if I don't think the person who I'm sending my stuff to doesn't like cats, I'm not letting my cats touch their stuff. You know, like I just like the simplest things that you don't necessarily think about when it comes to business, I feel like need to be thought about. They need to be like, the golden rule needs to be the way that you function both in your personal life and in your business. And if that's not the case, then maybe you're not a CEO. Maybe you are like, you know, like someone who can fund or like or whatever it is. And it's just as important in our society. It really is. Yeah. But maybe entrepreneurship is not your thing. You need to be selfless in so many ways to be able to maintain a business and be okay with that.
Yeah. A lot of sacrificing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions you have first?
Any other questions, Justin? No, I mean, I can definitely understand from just this little bit of time that we've even been talking about it that obviously I resonate with how you guys feel about, you know, your, you know, with photography, and then obviously the podcast on both ends, and then how you've turn, you know, you're like the personal health struggles into still trying to be productive. It's like I resonate with all of that. It's because like I feel the passion behind this podcast. I feel the passion behind the gameplays, and I use like the I guess the sanctity of like my mental state to keep pushing me forward, because like I don't ever want to go back to that those moments of like darkness. Even though, you'll see them like show in like my humor because that's just who I am. But like I always want to just keep keep moving forward and just not stopping and letting like anything negative like consume me. And I understand it is okay to be negative about things. Like it's almost what you were just talking about. Like you say like how there's like a stigma of always trying to be positive about things, and it's just like I do see that. Like sometimes I'm on that other end where I'm just like, how can you be so positive about things? Because I'm somewhat of a pessimist, and I'm learning how to control that and look at things differently. But at the same time, like I do recognize that like it is somewhat good to like have a balance of like it's okay to have like a negative day, and then it's just like, you know what, all right, not today, and then just make sure you realize like you flip that the next time around.
I think like the rule of thumb is like, can you be positive without minimizing the struggle?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I also think that I heard somebody call it was a interview that Stephen Furtick did with somebody where he was like, the person said, you know, you need to be able to freak out in the love zone. So it's pretty much like give yourself that time period. Give yourself that time period of like recognizing when something like sucks.
Yes.
But understand that it can't go on for X amount of time, like indefinitely. Like you kind of have to give yourself like, and I think each person has to figure out what that time period is. Like for me, it's like I need to be over it in 12 to like 24 hours tops. Because otherwise then it gets like toxic and bitter and whatever. It's just like I don't need to take it into like the next day.
But like
which is different as an individual, and I don't know why I feel like this is important to say, but it's different for an individual versus within a relationship. And I feel like we could have a whole conversation on that because
for sure.
12 to 24 hours is good for your individual struggle. 12 to 24 hours to hold a grudge and not have a conversation with my significant other doesn't work for me. I cannot go to bed and I'm uncomfortable with the way that we left things. That's toxic. And whether or not people feel like that's just like rushing things, I don't care. Like I'm not starting a new day with negativity.
That's interesting because I feel like it's for me the 12 to 24 hours even does include like significant others depending on the level, the matter. If I like think about it and I'm like, you know what, it's not that deep, then I'll like maybe I'm hungry, maybe I need to take a nap, maybe I didn't hydrate. You need like like so many things where it's like, okay, whatever. And then for me personally, and this might just be like because I'm such an easygoing person,
you are,
that like 9 times out of 10, that's just what it's going to be. And it's like, whenever we do get into an argument, it's like, oh, like, we'll name the last 3 times where you were like, and I'm like, I can't because I can't carry that baggage
but
because
also,
that's tiring for me. Personally.
I know this might sound unfair, but I know we're going on a tangent, but in terms of, couples therapy, and I've just learned so much, fair fighting doesn't involve bringing in other topics during one discussion. You need to stick at the topic at hand, and you're really good at that because you're easygoing. But we should have a whole episode about that.
I'm
but
down.
At the end of the day, I think like having an understanding of your own boundaries and how that might be different from that of a significant other, or even a customer, or even like a co-host. I think it's really interesting, the dynamic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, I'm definitely 100% into having a relationship.
Is that conflict resolution or something like that?
Yeah, conflict
whole
resolution.
Episode about conflict resolution,
fair fighting, all that.
No, yeah, because you guys know like my weird situation, but but yeah, because I would have a lot to contribute to like that type of episode.
For sure,
much.
yeah.
That's why you have to be here for like another hour.
I've never been up this late this year, so
that's what I'm surprised. Like you guys are awake right now. Like I feel like I'm suffering from like some type of insomnia during this lockdown. I keep going to bed at like 2-3 in the morning. I've been trying to more recently, like this past month and a half. Like number one, going to bed because like the couch has been like my best friend all lockdown.
Well, you have a super spectacular couch, so.
Not this one.
No, that one.
Oh, okay. I was like,
super comfy.
This one fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, not this. This was like a futon or something.
Yeah, actually, Zero wants it whenever I get rid of it. So
sorry, that's my ankle.
No, you're good.
But
futons. That's interesting. Okay. Do you think?
Oh, is this?
It might be. You said that you've been having time. Like, what time did you get up for like work or whatever?
I have to log on by like 8:30.
And that's like you're fine with getting like what 6 hours of sleep?
Like 5.
5 hours of sleep. Yeah.
Nice. My body's not good with it. Oh, I mean,
daily.
It's becoming normal. Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. Because
really?
I've only had I can do like 5 or less hours of sleep for like 2-3 days.
Yeah, no.
And then that third.
I thought you did really good with little sleep.
Yeah. I do what I can. I've been getting that third.
I've been getting
day,
better.
I like fucking. Crash.
I need 12 to 18.
Wow.
No, literally.
I mean, I understand why, but
if not, I will literally spend the entire next day unconscious. Like tomorrow, I'll probably sleep the whole day. Well, I have an appointment with my doctor, but yeah, really, really bad. It's too much sleep for normal.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've been getting better with it, like 6 hours maybe, but I never really get 8 because I don't really care for 8. Like I'll get 8 on like the weekend or something like that.
Wow.
During the week, it's like 5 to 6.5 hours of sleep.
That would be a dream.
That's
you
right.
know how much more stuff I could do in life?
I think I usually do like 6 or 7. And there's very few.
6 is like standard for me. Yeah. But yeah, during lockdown, it's been wild. But anyway. But no, man, this has been fun and weird because my power went out. But luckily, I got this laptop had some energy on it,
right,
to finish. Yeah, because we recorded for like another 30 minutes.
Yeah,
there it is.
But again, thank you guys for coming through. This has probably been some of the funnest. It's not a word. It doesn't matter. Some of the funnest time that I've had just recording.
I feel like we need to do a trifecta.
God,
if not more.
For sure.
This is like, it was hysterical. Like my throat hurts because I was laughing for so long.
Just come on the Vida show on Saturday, so we could just like.
I'll just make sure I won't curse because
right? Yeah.
I knew immediately. I'm like, that's the first thing.
The engineer will literally like beep it out.
I don't want him to do too much work.
No, don't do that to my friend. He's so good.
Yeah, I know. I won't curse.
Shout outs to Dylan. Love you, DJ Dub G, best
RD
engineer.
Oh my God! But thank you guys again for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, and obviously, I want to be on both your podcasts.
For sure.
Oh man, I don't want it to end because it's fun and I'm fucking scared. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. This has been PTV AD After
What it is, y'all.
Pass the vibes, pass the vibes, pass the vibes.
After dark.
After dark. Yeah, Julie has the perfect. Do it.
I can't do it again. After dark.
Yeah,
I'm gonna clip that. I gotta clip
do
that.
it. You have
After
to.
dark.
After dark.
Oh man. But as always, this is only gonna keep getting better as we go forward. And it's been your man J-Rod.
The boy Jayhawk.
Jules.
I love it. It's perfect. It's a perfect outro. And we will see you guys in the next one.
Hey.
Oh.
After dark. After dark.
Okay.
Yo, I might be the worst when I get home. Y'all are tripping.
This was all still being recorded.
He's like, yeah. Get home.
God.
Get home, babe.
All right. I love you guys. Peace out.
Deuces.